Mabuhay, this is Bob from Love Beyond the Sea. Don't awaken love before it pleases. That's a verse from Song of Solomon. I want to talk about that today because it has to do with love, and I'm going through a bunch of articles on gotquestions.org that can help us with marriage. So please subscribe here to Love Beyond the Sea. I'll interject these type of videos with my own thoughts on marriage to a Filipina since 2015. So as I read this, I wonder if I was guilty of violating this, and I tried to stir up love before it was ready. So let's read this, and I will interject my comments. Please subscribe here to Love Beyond the Sea and get notifications for upcoming videos if you are on YouTube. So it says here 3 times in the Song of Solomon, the daughters of Jerusalem are given this charge: do not stir up or awaken love until it pleases. That's in Song of Solomon 2:7, 3:5, and 8:4. The ESV. The NIV's wording is similar: do not arouse or awaken love until it so desires. With the threefold repetition, this command can be considered a refrain and becomes a theme running throughout the song. The speaker addresses the daughters of Jerusalem, young unmarried women in Israel's capital city, and gives them some wise advice. Do not awaken love until it pleases. It's a solemn charge given by anyone who has found true love and experiencing its joys. Do not attempt to arouse or awaken love. Don't stir it up. Love should be allowed to rest until it awakens on its own accord. Please leave comments as I go through this. The meaning seems to be this: true love, that which is worthy of being called love, should be spontaneous. There is danger in trying to force love or to stir up passions before their time. There is a tendency, especially among the young, which I think is very important here, to fall victim to puppy love or to mistake infatuation for true love. The speaker in the Song of Solomon would save us much grief. The charge not to awaken love until it pleases is a warning against entering romantic relationships too young. It is a warning against becoming so desperate to find love that we start looking for it in all the wrong places. It is a warning against trying to manufacture feelings of love where there are none to begin with. Now, I'm going to stop right there because some of you, if you're watching my foreigner Filipina videos, are going to say, well, hey, Bob, that kind of sounds like your situation there. I mean, you were single until 53, excuse me, and then you proposed to a woman online from 9,800 miles away on day 18, fly up there, do all the things you have to do to marry her on day 54, when 55 days before you were married, the two of you didn't know you existed. Isn't that awakening love before it pleases? Well, for one thing, I wasn't young. I was 53, and I had spent, well, most of that time thinking about what I needed to know to be a good husband and get married, and was looking for somebody. I just didn't have any success, and that's the way that was. But I wasn't young, and I wasn't looking for puppy love. I was looking for marriage. I wasn't looking to, just use somebody for my own pleasure. I wanted to get married, and also was mature enough to marry someone mature enough to know that the love comes later. So we're not going into it, blind and overly emotional. My wife was a lot younger, but she was still an adult. Not like she's, 17 years old. So I don't feel like I manufactured it. Everybody else here that watches my channel or looks for a Filipina will have to determine for themselves, are they trying to force the issue? I don't think I was trying to force the issue. I was just trying to complete the process of looking for a wife. I just went to the Philippines. Go where you're wanted. You may be wanted there. I would try it out. You can click on my affiliate link there for Christian Filipina. It'll be in the YouTube comment section, or it's on TikTok. It'll be up there on top. But that's all I'm going to say about that in this part. Continuing with gotquestions.org, the NLT translates Song of Solomon 2:7 in a way that emphasizes the need for proper timing. Promise me, O women of Jerusalem, not to awaken love until the time is right. Waiting is never easy. In matters of the heart, waiting may be even more difficult. But waiting for the right one, at the right time, has prevented many a broken heart. Let love rise naturally. Let affection be without affectation. The result will be beautiful. And I will just interject here that I think the man has to be the pursuer. I mean, he can wait and wait, but if he's waiting and not pursuing, then he's not doing it right. But that doesn't mean that he's manufacturing this relationship. And I really want you to think about this if you're marrying or looking for a Filipina. You know, just something to think about. Continuing then, if a relationship is to move on to the next level, then it will do so without artifice or stratagem. If romance is God's intention, then romance will come. No need to press it. True love is special. It cannot be ginned up and it cannot be manipulated. Romantic feelings should not be stirred up too early. Let them sleep until it's time for them to awake. Now, I have no problem with that, and I agree with that. I just think, you know, you have to be a little more intentional. If you're going to be older, you already lived half your life, you're 40 years old, 45 years old, and you're not married yet, well, it's really time to get going. As I've said in other videos, time is not on our side as we get older. I don't want you to wait till you're 53 like I did. Even though I'd like you to find a Filipino to marry, maybe if you're in your 20s or 30s, you should be already looking that way, unless you think you can find somebody where you are. So continuing, the wording of the adjuration is interesting and quite significant. In two instances, the charge makes an appeal to fauna, whatever F-A-U-N-A is. Here is the whole of Song of Solomon 2:7. I adjure you, O daughters of Jerusalem, by the gazelles or the does of the field, that you not stir up or awaken love until it pleases, ESV. Using beautiful imagery, the speaker underscores the truth that love must have freedom. Just as gazelles and deer are free to roam, so love should have freedom to move in our hearts in its own time and its own way. Love should not be manipulated any more than a gazelle should be fettered or caged. And wrapping this up, when the time is right, love will bloom. Until then, wisdom advises us to guard our hearts. It will be worth the wait. And that's the end of the article, and I agree with that. We should guard our hearts. We should, make sure other people are keeping us, grounded, especially if we're younger people, that we don't just rush out and make something happen when it's not happening naturally. I think a lot of times in foreigners and Filipinas, the man has to be intentional, contact somebody. He only knows what he knows from her profile, which usually isn't a lot. So he goes out to see her, and he's looking for a wife, and she's so far away, they're not going to be able to see each other very often. So he has to determine, like I did early on, whether this person is going to be somebody for you to marry. If it is, I recommend getting out there within 6 months. She's always free to see somebody else if you don't. So it's important to act quickly, not to force something to happen, but to evaluate where you are and if that's something that you should marry. So leave comments here. I'll have some more videos about love I'm using from gotquestions.org, and if you're on YouTube, they're in my playlist called Love, all of them, and some other articles as well. So stay tuned for more videos here on Love Beyond the Sea.